Dear students, good afternoon. Uh, Regarding this analytical instrumentation, last class we discussed about basic concepts of analytical instrumentation, isn't it? So there we studied what is the meaning of analytical instrumentation and what is the basic diagram, basic principle. Christy, అక్కడ పో Christy. So these are the basic principles we studied, right? And this time we'll see what are the remaining concepts available in analytical instrumentation. So everybody knows that the meaning of analysis, right? So what is analysis? So analysis is a process, isn't it? So separating that concentrations of any solutions of any material
Hello.
or yeah, hello. So we want to analyze any solution or any chemical component or any chemical compound or any mixer, isn't it? So we want to separate uh, that concentrations or any uh, other properties, maybe intensity, and sometimes um, that absorbability, absorbance, that emissions, sometimes transmittance. So all these can be, we have to analyze for a particular solution or for a particular mixture or for any chemical thing, we want to do it. So as you know that the subject name is analytical instrumentation. So we want to analyze it for any sample, take any chemical sample, mixture, solutions, we want to analyze it. But the question is, how do you analyze? How do you analyze? So last class I discussed that this analysis can be done with the help of instrumentation. So without instrument, there is no analysis. You take uh, any measurement, so that should be done with the help of instrument. So today our concept is we want to analyze or we want to know the pH of the unknown, pH value of the unknown. Say for example, um, you take any water or any acid or any petrol like this. You take any solutions. Our aim is to know the pH value. pH value. How do you know this pH value? This pH value can be known with the help of electronic instrument that is nothing but a pH meter. So pH meter is an electronic instrument measuring the pH. So pH refers to here acidity or sometimes base. Base nothing but alkalinity of a liquid, of a solution. So we want to know the two parameters, either acidity or alkalinity, base. So actually, you know that the range of pH may be from 0 to 14, isn't it? Suppose if the range is 0 to 6, this range comes under acidity. If above 7, above 7 to 14, that is comes under base, alkalinity. So based on that, we can say that the pH of the unknown is like this. But what is 7 is a neutral, nothing but for a water, pure water, we can get pH is 7. So typically, what is how this pH meter looks like? How the pH meter looks like? pH meter looks like basically is a rod, a simple rod, isn't it? At the corner, we are providing a probe. So we have to provide some probe that is nothing but a glass. So glass probe. The glass probe nothing but is a measuring probe. Is a measuring probe. So this measuring probe also be called glass electrode. Glass electrode. So if this glass electrode will touch the any solution, what happens? But actually inside the glass, what is there? HCl, I mean hydrochloric acid. So there is some hydrogen ions. There will be some hydrogen ions are available in the within the glass electrode. If this glass electrode corner will touch any solution, unknown solution, what happens? There is a difference in hydrogen activity, difference in hydrogen concentrations. That difference can be expressed as a voltage, a small voltage. That voltage can be treated as the pH of the unknown solution. pH of the unknown solution. So anywhere you can take the basic principle is if a glass electrode or glass probe which is having HCl inside it, if it touches the unknown solution, unknown any chemical, isn't it? So what happens? There is exchange of hydrogen ions. So that difference between glass electrodes and excess of hydrogen ions of the any solution, it gives some unknown pH value in terms of voltage. Of course, it can also be measured. You can also measure that difference in terms of directly pH value. So generally, the output of this glass electrode probe is in the order of 0.06 volts per pH unit. Is a very small output voltage. It cannot be measured directly. So what can you do? You can amplify it and you can make some calibrations. Then you can get the direct pH value. But the question is, how do you measure this unknown pH of any concentrations? So it can be done with the help of the available pH meter, of course. But before that, you have to calibrate your available instrument like pH meter. So you have to calibrate it. So what is calibration? First of all, the available instrument, the pH meter, is rightly working or not, is correctly showing the known pH or not. You have to calibrate it. But you are all the comes under instrumentation people. You know that how do you calibrate the instrument? So I will show the uh, two solutions which is having calibrated pH values. So yeah, observe this is a buffer solution, is a buffer capsules. Is it visible to you? Is a buffer capsule. So if you these capsules are available, if you open it, you can see you can get see within this you can get these capsules. These are the capsules. Clear it? Is it clear? So in that buffer capsules box, these capsules are available. You take any one of the capsules, right, and take some distilled water. You place this capsule in the distilled water so that you observe that this capsule completely dissolved in the distilled water. So when the capsule is completely dissolved in the the water, so that is nothing but a solution. You make a solution. So what is the solution? For the solution, you take just the pH meter, but a glass electrode, touch the solution. Touch the solution. Then what happens? If your glass electrode touch the known solution, that known solution, it will show some value, some voltage value or some pH value. But what is actually pH value of this? Say for example, pH is 4, but your meter showing for this pH is 3.5. Then you do, for the instrument there is some variable, you adjust the variable such that the instrument will show up to 4 pH value, because this is a known capsule, known buffer capsule, which is already the pH of this is 4, so that you have to adjust your pH meter in order to get pH equal to 4. When your meter showing pH equal to 4, then stop to varying the variable. So now for this pH, for this solution, the pH is 4, meter is showing pH 4, and already it is calibrated, it is already equals to 4. So when the meter shows 4, that is the meaning of calibration. So for a known solution, you are calibrated your instrument, which is nothing but 4. Suppose if not calibrated properly, if you want to check one more solution, you do one thing. Take other solution. This is other solution. This is a standard solution, buffer solution. It is a buffer solution whose pH equal to 10. Whose pH equal to 10. So I want to know whether this solution pH equal to 10 or not. I want to check it by pH meter. You take for this solution, you take a glass electrode, touch the solution. Then what happens? If a glass electrode will touch this solution, immediately your meter shows 10 pH. pH equal to 10. Why? Because it is already calibrated. First of all, you have to calibrate the solution for known pH value. Then you can easily check all the solutions such that we can get the unknown solution of the pH value. So that is what the calibration of your pH meter. So generally, for which buffers we have to do calibrations. This calibration can be done. See, for buffer solutions, pH equals to 4 and pH equals to 10. pH equals to 4 and pH equals to 10. So remember, once you are calibrating your instrument, suppose you want to take a third unknown capsule, third unknown solution. For that you want to measure with this pH meter. Then what can you do? Before measuring the unknown, you have to clean that your container with distilled water. Completely clean it, so that what happens? So we can easily measure the right value of the whether it may be acid or it may be base. You can easily measure. So there is one point. Observe, after each single measurement, the probe is rinsed with distilled water to remove any traces of solution being measured, blotted with a clean tissue to absorb any remaining water, which could be dilute the sample and thus alter the reading, and then quickly immersed in another solution. So what happens if you are not cleaning the container for measuring the other solutions? So that particles will combine with the unknown solution, so the pH is going to be changed. So before going to measure the pH of any unknown solutions, you have to clean it. For each measurement, you have to rinse it, clean it, and tissue it, so that we can get a dry flask or dry, what is called container. So sample container. Then you take the unknown sample. You can easily measure the unknown pH value because it is already calibrated. Generally, we have different types of pH meters. So first one is null detection type pH meter, and one more is chopper type. So what is null type, how it works, how it is going to measure? It's very simple to understand. So in the null type pH meter, so you observe the diagram. So you take any solution. Into the solution you take the glass electrode. Generally this glass electrode, in one form of this pH meter looks like glass, a simple glass which is having two electrodes within. One is reference, one is measuring. Two electrodes are provided within a single glass electrode. Sometimes what happens, you have to separately take the two electrodes. Separate the two electrodes. One is reference, one is measuring electrodes. So what is reference? Reference electrode provided a predefined voltage, a defined voltage, right? And for the measuring, if you dip the measuring electrode, of course the two are dipped into the solution, but the reference having some voltage value, that is we are going to maintain, right? And we want to apply it for initially. And for the measuring electrode, if you touch the solution, it may give some other potential. Then what happens? The reference electrode and detector electrode, also called measuring electrode, the two are provide some potential difference. These two provide some potential difference. Then what can you do? With the available meter, in the meter there are some calibrations, voltage and pH, voltage values and pH values. So you try to adjust the meter such that the meter shows up to null deflection, null value. Once you are dipped the two electrodes into the solution, unknown solution, for measuring the pH, the two electrodes will provide some potential difference, no doubt it. But how the measurement is going on? How do you know the pH of the unknown solution? Means it is a concept of null detector type. Null detector means adjust your instrument such that it show null value. When the meter shows null value, there is a deflection, shows that pH of the unknown solution. pH of the unknown solution. Understand? The principle is without null, no measurement. That's what my point. Without null concept, no measurement of pH. So we try to make the null for the meter such that there is a measurement. There is a measurement. So like this is a very simple concepts, basic concepts. Already you know that in electronic measurements instrumentation or sensor technologies or EM, electronic measurements. In that you may study that measurement of voltage with the help of null deflection type. So how we are measuring null deflection type? So you adjust the meter up to it has to be shown that zero value. When the meter shows zero value, stop to vary. Then the measurement is completed. Like this, here also you want to adjust the instrument up to it shows the zero value. When the meter shows that zero value, the measurement is over. So that the meter shows that the pH value. Without zero, no measurement, no pH value. That's what the basic idea regarding this null deflection type pH meter. And we have one more concept, one more method that is available in the laboratory. So we have analytical instrumentation laboratory for measuring pH value. Then practically we can observe in the coming days, right? I will show how the pH is going to measure with this the practical case of measurement of pH. See, the second case is a chopper amplifier type pH meter. Chopper amplifier type pH meter. In this, what happens means you see that in the chopper based pH meter, what happens in the there will be, first of all you observe the diagram, you can get some idea. In the chopper amplifier based, you observe this diagram. Yeah, this is the diagram we have. Yeah, you observe there is a diagram. This is a chopper amplified based pH meter. In this, what happens? You have to take, yeah, this is a container, solution container. So in this container, we have to take a sample solution whose pH to be measured. And here we have to provide two electrodes.
సార్ ఏ డయాగ్రామ్స్ కనిపించట్లేదు సార్.
ఏమ్మా
డయాగ్రామ్స్ ఏం కనిపించట్లేదు సార్ మాకు.
కనిపించట్లేదా?
కనిపించట్లేదు సార్.
ఓకే, వెయిట్ మా, ఐ విల్ షో. I'm sorry, ma. You see, you observe this all the first diagram also. You observe the first diagram. Yeah. So it's a null type pH meter. Null type pH meter. So in this null type, we have measuring electrode and reference electrode. These two electrodes will produce some potential. So voltage produced by electrodes. What is the meaning of this? These two are dipped into solution, unknown solution. So when these two are dipped into solution voltage, these two voltages, you have to make the meter reading should be 0. When the meter reading should be 0, then we can get the unknown pH value directly, right? And in this second case, chopper amplifier type pH meter. In this second case, we observe this diagram. Yeah, in this diagram, it is a container. This container having some unknown solution whose pH to be measured. The two, again we have two electrodes. Remember, anywhere we have to take two electrodes of a solution in a container. But the technique is different, the way to measure the pH value. In this technique, how do you measure? One is reference, one more is measuring electrode, right? So this reference is connected to standard circuit that is connected to a potentiometer, right? So from the potentiometer, what is the meaning of this potentiometer? For this reference electrode, through some potentiometer and some feedback, we have to give a standard potential that is we should apply a standard reference potential to the reference electrode, okay, and that is chopped to amplifier. So the same voltage to be applied to the amplifier of one input. Okay, fine, that is fine. Then what happens? So when you dip the electrode of measuring one into the solution, because of this, when it is touches the solution or dip into the solution, there exists some potential. So that potential is given to through a capacitor to the amplifier. So because we want to we will definitely will get some very small voltage when the measuring one. So what can you do? That should be amplified. That should be converted into some uh, the amplitude, a good amplitude voltage, AC voltage. You should convert into a right amplitude AC voltage. So that value is going to give some phase sensitive rectifier. So phase sensitive rectifier, why we need to provide means, once very small voltage is amplified, you may get some AC voltage. You may get some AC voltage. So that AC voltage should be in the meter accepting range. Meter accepting range. So that is called acceptable range, attenuation. Otherwise, simply you can say it is attenuation. That voltage is simply given to the meter with this phase sensitive rectifier. So phase sensitive rectifier, nothing but a type of attenuator. General rectifier means converts AC into DC. Okay, so the same working is going on here. So once we have the voltage, that should be rectified into suitable range. Once we have that voltage, that is going to apply for the indicating meter. So this meter takes the two inputs, one input from measuring one, other input from the reference one. These two are given to the indicating meter or measuring instrument, so that this indicating meter directly gives the pH value because it is already calibrated. So this type of measurement is going on comes under chopper amplifier based pH meter. So based upon the availability of the solution, you can choose a simple basic null type pH meter or chopper amplifier based pH meter. Okay, and we have what type of electrodes you can use. Electrodes generally, based upon this availability of solution, you can choose the electrodes. There are different types of electrodes for pH measurement, such as hydrogen electrodes. Generally we are going to prefer hydrogen electrodes, and sometimes glass electrodes. Remember, the hydrogen electrode and glass electrodes, these two directly acting as a measuring electrodes. And we have the other two like calomel electrode and silver chloride. These two comes under reference electrodes, right? So the if you want to see that the shape of the hydrogen electrodes or glass electrodes and reference electrodes, you can observe. Yeah. See that is a glass electrode. It is a glass electrode. Yes. See how, as you know that the pH meter nothing but it is looks like a rod. At the corner there should be some glass. This glass nothing but looks like a probe, which is inside the probe there should be some HCl, right? Uh, yeah, you observe this. So on the top there is a shield conductor lead and it is a cap, and inside this shield internal leads, there will be some leads are provided, and at the end you observe at the end, just above the corner we have to provide internal reference electrode, and it is the standard solution we have to consider for any measurement. Is a standard solution. So what is the solution so called? The solution also nothing but pH sensitive glass bulb. So just below, just a corner of the pH meter, there is a pH sensitive glass bulb which contains a standard solution, nothing but HCl. Okay. So why it is called PSS2 glass bulb? Of course, it may be very thin glass. It is a very thin glass which is sensitive to hydrogen ion activity. Hydrogen ion activity. So because of that activity, we can easily measure the ion activity in any solution. It's a glass one, and you see observe one more calomel. Yeah, see different types of calomel. Chloride reference. It is silver chloride reference electrode. Reference electrode. Yeah. See at this there is a porous junction, and it is AgCl is a reference gel provided, and it is Ag wire. So this complete structure acting as a reference electrode for measurement of the pH, and sometimes other structure. So there will be other junction if you want to provide it. Other junction we have to provide it for accurate measurements of the pH. That is called double junction silver chloride reference electrode for very accurate measurements. Then and what is next one is conductivity meter. Conductivity meter. So what is conductivity meter? You know, it is electrical property. Is electrical property. So any solution or any mixture or any other compositions generally having some conductivity. Having some conductivity. Conductivity can be defined as a reciprocal of resistance, isn't it? Reciprocal of resistance. So how do you measure this conductivity? We need an instrument. As you know that we are studying under the chapter of analytical instrumentation. So if you want to analyze the conductivity of any solution or any powder, we need a meter. Meter nothing but instrument. So it is nothing but a conductivity meter. So with this conductivity meter, we are going to measure the unknown conductivity of the solution. So how we are going to measure it? Measure it. See the diagram shows that the general structure of the conductivity meter provided provided a rod, a simple rod, nothing but a it is nothing but a sensor, nothing but a sensor, right? So electrical conductivity meter is also called EC meter, measures the electrical conductivity in a solution, right? Commonly used in hydroponics, aquaculture, and fish water systems to monitor the amounts of nutrients, salts, or impurities in the water. So you are all aware of uh, how the prawns are growing any, I mean, in the, I mean, in any ponds, isn't it? There are simple ponds available nearby the Godavari district, isn't it? So that how this processing going on. Before that, we want to check the water, that water is fresh or not, which will be useful for aquaculture, right? We want to check the nutrients, maybe salts, or any other impurities. Based on that, we want to go for other processing, right? For measuring all these, we need some conductivity meters. Conductivity meter, right? And the basic principle of this is the basic principle is you take any a container which is having some solution to which you want to check the conductivity. For the solution, we want to check the for any mixture or for any powder, we want to check the conductivity. So what can you do? You do you apply some a light signal or any stimulation. You apply some photon signal, light signal through some slit, through some slit. right? So when the light will focus on the, will fall on the any sample, any sample, there will be three process. There will be three processes going on. Three processes are going on. What are the three processes? When the light will fall on the sample, the light may be absorbed by the material. That is one case. Absorbed by the material. Second case, the light may be reflected by the material. Light may be reflected, maybe by the material. The third process is the light may be transmitted. Light may be transmitted. So when the light will fall on the sample, absorption is going on sometimes, reflections are going on sometimes, and one more, uh, transmittance is going on. Transmittance is going on. Suppose, suppose for any solution, for any solutions, we cannot expect that the three process for all the solutions. You cannot expect based upon the composition of the material, based upon the composition of the solution. Maybe two of the process going on, not the three, not the three. So at least one process is going on, or at least two processes are going on, right? So you take any unknown solution, for you fall the light on the solution, then what happens? Absorbance, reflections, transmittance. So suppose if our absorbance is making zero, say absorbance is zero, there will be reflections and transmittances. So for the material, you measure reflections and transmittances. Suppose in this, in this, you make reflections also zero. So absorptions and reflections are zero. We have only transmitted rays, transmitted light. So how much light you are transmitted through the sample? How much light you are collected? There will be difference in there will be a difference in wavelengths, or difference in intensity, difference in phase, difference in frequencies. Any one of the parameter is going to be changed. So based on that parameter, you have to measure the unknown, I mean, conductivity of the solution. For any three cases, you have to observe. If you make reflections and transmittance is zero, absorbance is measured with light signals. How much light you are transmitting, I mean, will falling on the solution, how much light is absorbed, that is measured. That is called spectrophotometer. Spectrophotometers. Absorption type spectrophotometer. Sometimes emission type, that is called reflections type spectrophotometers. So there are separate instruments are provided for measuring the conductivity of the sample or any solutions. Okay, this is the basic principle is available in the conductivity measuring. Now I am going to stop, and by Monday we will see the other concepts. Okay, if you have any doubts, if you have any doubts, then post through this chat box. Okay, you can ask me any doubts.